Day number 12. Aren't you looking fine as wine? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You look at your fine as wine. Yes, you are. Alright, so today was a good day. Obviously, I'm excited about my new job, new career that I start. Looks like my official start date is the 10th of June. So I do have one more week that I have to fulfill my duties with my current position that I have not exactly spoken highly of. Again, that's just, me and how that job works for me. And it's, it's not a fit or whatever. Not to say that it's not a fit for other people. Other people may enjoy the job and do well, and there are people that do well at the job. It's just not for me. A lot of I keep going over and over the same shit, but it's a lot of quick sales, trying to distract people from their day and get them to do, talk about going to go do essentially a timeshare presentation. So, it's not exactly an easy sell. As a matter of fact, people that are selling cologne in malls have it easier than I do, because at least people, inherently do want to smell good all the time. So it's like, you want some cologne? They probably get more stops than I do. But anyhow, it's not to say that the whole thing was a loss, though, because I did meet someone in my venture there that actually is into radio. And she has a radio show that she does every Friday for an hour. It broadcasts on a couple, I believe it's AM stations, but they have like some ridiculous amount of reach, like a large reach of that channel reaches like millions of people. Now in that 1 hour slot, obviously it may not be a million people, but still a few thousand, I would assume, based on what we discussed. And the good news is she is going to have me on her show tomorrow, so that's exciting. I'm going to go and talk about my venture here on YouTube and what I'm doing, and put the information out there if people want to check me out. Let them know where I be at and what I'm about and what I've been doing. So in my forward progress and my forecast for the future and all that good shit. So it's gonna be cool, man. I've always had like a radio voice. In fact, I've done DJing in the past, and I've always kind of had like a little pipe dream of being like on air. And she told me that once I get a little money behind me, I can actually start my own radio show. As far as I know, it's just for the Tampa Bay area, but I'm assuming that it's one of those things where, internet rules all, so you could probably access it from other places. I don't know the details on all that yet, but I think it's something like if you want to do your own show, it's like $150 every Friday for an hour or whatever, and you can like split it up and have people come and talk on your show, and they can pay to be on your show and this sort of thing. But just to introduce me to it, she's going to have me come out and just kind of chat for 5 or 10 minutes, something like that, no cost to me. She just wants to introduce me to that world, which is super cool, super nice lady, and I'm definitely looking forward to that. I'm going to bring my camera in there with me to kind of video me doing that. I'm not sure what the audio will be like for that, but I will hook it up. Worst case scenario, there'll be like a little shot of that showing me do that whole thing. So that's really cool, actually. And the only other thing I was going to talk about is building blocks for turning your life around, turning my life around, turning anyone's life around. I was talking to an old friend today about her current situation, and I told her, I was like, stop looking at the big picture, stop looking at where you want to be in a few years. You know what I mean? Like, I know vision boards are good and all that, but I'm a firm believer that the first thing that you need to do is have your building blocks in order. And it's the same thing for me. Like, a couple weeks ago, I was at my wit's end and really concerned with where I was headed and how I was going to be able to get out of my financial hole. I mean, I've obviously broadcasted the severity of my monetary situation, lack thereof, of money or whatever. And so in that time period, I was definitely stressed out, like, fuck, how am I going to, my car's going to die. What am I going to do about a car? Do I got to ride the bus? You know, like, how am I going to ever get my own place? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? And for me, I basically took, the building blocks for me are, you know, stop fucking drinking, Phil. Because, you know, I'm burying and bottling my emotions. And that person I'm talking about, she uses medication for depression. And even though, you know, it's prescribed and, you know, it's legal and this and that, it's really no different. I mean, it's different, but it's no different, you know. So I kind of dug a little bit deeper with her and kind of figured out the pressure points with her. And, you know, she agrees that the main reason she does it is because she's unhappy. Same with, like, eating, you know, chocolate at night or whatever. Like, you know, you do these things because you're unhappy. And for me, it was drinking and smoking weed, more recently drinking. And cigarettes play into that too, you know. For me, like, when I'm working this job that I work, like, it's like the hours take forever to go by because it's like a lot of just kind of sitting there and, you know, getting shot down left and right. So, you know, it's like, fuck, I want to step outside for a cigarette, you know, and kind of woos off from that. The good news is that with my new job, I'm going to be very, very busy all the time, and it'll be very easy for me to quit because if my mind is busy, then I don't think about cigarettes. You know, it's only when my mind is dormant that I'm like, I guess I'll go smoke now, you know. So, in a few other situations that it happens, but typically that's the pressure point for me. So yeah, building blocks. I guess my long-winded point here is that if you have something that you're trying to aspire to, and you know that there's certain things that are holding you back, don't focus on how am I ever going to get to that point. It seems impossible. It's very daunting to think that way, and believe me, I've been through it. In fact, my video titled "Break On Through to the Other Side" is a pretty intense insight or look into me at my worst feeling that way. But now that I've began putting my building blocks together with, you know, not drinking anymore, maintaining the exercise routine, drinking more water, preparing my meals, lessening the amount of shit that I put in my body, you know, I've begun to feel a lot better and think more positively, and before you know it, now my income is squared away. It's not here now, but it's coming. You know, and I don't know if you saw the video or not, but the one where I was singing that one song, I was like, good things are on the way for me. Good things are on the way. Yeah. The universe has my back. Yeah, so anyhow, and I got tingles singing it. You know, you get tingles? You get tingles? That's the universe talking to you. Or it's a spirit. I'm not sure. But, you know, turns out good things are definitely on the way for me. There is the minor, you know, possible wrench that can be thrown in if something happens to the car in the course of the next 30 or 45 days. But as long as I can make it that far, I'm good. And you know, coast is clear. Now, granted, I've got a lot of makeup to do financially because I've been barely earning an income at all. And on that note, I don't know how anybody survives off of 10, 12, fuck, even 13, 14 bucks an hour. Like, how in the world? No wonder so many people have multiple jobs. So for me, my multiple jobs is going to be my newfound sales position as well as mortgage originating. Now that I'm more clear, my mind is more put together and methodical, I'm like very welcoming to the concept of having multiple things going on, staying busy, versus my old self drinking and smoking all the time. I was very lethargic and lazy and not wanting to put in the effort. And now it's like that's what I want to do. I just want to have something that actually is mentally challenging for me to do that with. So, going to be doing the outside sales for the lighting company as well as mortgage origination. And, you know, when I'm not doing one, I'll be doing the other. And then when I'm not doing that, I'll be either preparing food, going to the gym, or making YouTube content. I mean, I'm filling up my day-to-day life so that there's no more time to sit there and just waste hours with Netflix or YouTube or whatever. And granted, don't get me wrong, like, in fact, I think YouTube is better to waste time on than Netflix. Netflix, I feel like, is kind of soul-sucking. Like, I've watched a couple series recently, and they grab you to where you get to the end of the episode, and it's like, how do you not click next episode? And then next thing you know, 3 hours are gone, and like, what the fuck? And I feel like it kind of depletes my energy a little bit as well. So, which I did a little bit of that today, on that note, because I was off today and I'm poor currently. I have a rich soul though, and I have a rich mind, and the money will be coming soon. Not that money is everything, but you definitely need it to blah blah blah. Here I go on a long rant. So, short story long, I'm on the right path finally, and it all boils down to building blocks. So if you are challenged by your own vices and you're concerned about your future and how you're going to make things work, I urge you to consider taking a step back and figuring out what your building blocks are. I recommend obviously starting with letting go of at least one or two of your vices and implementing more exercise, drinking more water, and eating clean foods. So that's all I got for the day, I believe. Long-winded video here, no cuts, just me on a verbal rant. I seem to get into those when I'm at this place. I love this place right here. This is my favorite place to shoot the video right here. It's nice and quiet. Ain't nobody bothering me around here. I like that. So that's it though. You guys have an awesome day, and tomorrow, like I said, I'll be shooting a video, at least a portion of it, at this radio station, which I think it's like kind of like just an office building, and they have it, you know, it's not like some glamorous whatever, but still it's like super cool with the mics and the headphones, and I'm gonna be on the air, so you know, that's cool with me. I can dig it. Let's do this thing. Anyhow, one love. Real deal out.